with Alexis Pixies, and all that is the name of my MS walk team. I have MS, and I have kind of a wild story how I found out how I have MS. I called the nurses hotline. My husband was active duty military at the time. This has been 12 years ago. Next month, in May, it'll be 12 years ago. And so the nurses hotline, I told them my whole right side is numb. You could just draw a line and I could feel everything on this side and nothing on this side. So we went to the ER. That's what the nurses hotline said to do. So we get there and the ER is full. We went to the Fort ER for the Army base because that was the closest ER to us. And when we get there, it's just full. It's full of all these soldiers because they're having their practice for, I call them their war games. It was right before the war started. And so they were full of guys who were hungover and they didn't want to go to their different, I don't know, their platoon things. And one guy had a migraine, another guy was hungover and throwing up. And so I go in there. My whole right side is numb. And at the time, I worked for a dear friend, and she's actually the one who started Alexis Pixies. And I was a pharmacy tech, so I had this doctor, and he wasn't the main doctor. He was, I guess, a doctor in training for them to become one of their head doctors. And I said, my whole right side is numb. And so we kept doing all the tests. Tell me if this is sharp or dull. Tell me if this is sharp or dull. Tell me if this is sharp or dull. This went on for an hour and 15 minutes if it's sharp or dull. Finally, I told the dude, I said, listen, I've already told you. I cannot tell if it's sharp or dull. Do you want to get one of those scalpels out and just go ahead and cut me? I'm not going to feel it. I won't be able to tell if it's on the sharp side or the dull side. I've done this now for over an hour. I said, and I'm tired of playing your games. I don't know if it's sharp or dull. On my left side, yeah, it's sharp, it's dull. Right side, not a clue. So, finally, the main doctor comes in. Oh, we're going to take you to get a CAT scan. So they took me in to get a CAT scan because we think you have a brain tumor. And I said, oh, okay. The worst thing that can happen is they can remove my brain tumor, shave my head, get it off. Biggest fear of mine was to shave my head because I have big thick hair and I don't want my head shaved, but whatever. If it's gonna make my right side have feeling again, whatever. So anyway, the doctor comes back finally with my CAT scan. He says, "Ma'am, we can't find anything wrong with you. So we're going to give you a prescription for gabapentin." Well, being a pharmacy tech, I knew that was for pain. I go, how the hell is gabapentin gonna get my feeling back on my right side? All it's gonna do is take the pain away. How stupid do I look? I already told you I work in a pharmacy and I know what that medicine does. So he goes, "Well, ma'am, we have to do something. We think we need to prescribe you something to help you." I go, "Well, obviously a painkiller isn't gonna make me feel my right side. I don't want the pills. I'll just go on home if you have nothing else to tell me." My husband, in the meanwhile, had left because he had to get ready to go to work out at his Air Force base. So I'm sitting there by myself, and so I go to leave. I'm walking out of the ER thinking, bunch of idiots, what the hell do they think? And they can't do anything for me. So I'm walking out. I get all the way to the double doors, and there's of course 2 sets of double doors to get out. I'm already through the first set of double doors, ready to make my way to the outside, and the doctor comes running. "Stop, stop, Mrs. Cornell. You can't leave. I read the wrong CAT scan. We mixed you up with the guy next to you. The guy next to you is having a migraine, and we needed to give him migraine medicine. And for you, it's something else. We need to get you back in your room." So I go back into this little cubicle. It's not a room, it's curtains drawn. So I go back in there, and they go, "Is your husband here?" I said, "No, you've taken too much time, and my husband had to leave to go get ready to go to the Air Force Base to go to work." I said, "You took too much time, and he had to leave." "Well, ma'am, just sit down. We really need to have him in here to tell you what's wrong." Well, I'm in my 30s, and I look at the man. I do not need my husband for you to tell me what is wrong with me. Just tell me, and away I can go. "No, no, no, we can't. We have to wait for your husband. It's not very good news." And I said, "Whatever. It's unbelievable. I've been here for an hour, almost 2 hours, and you guys are saying now I need someone to hold my hand to give me this news that there's something wrong." So finally, my husband comes back and comes in the room. "We gotta go. It's time for me to go to work." And I said, "Well, this doctor here that's been poking and prodding me for the last 2 hours now needs to wait for the main doctor because they now found my CAT scan and need to tell me the news, but I had to have you here to tell me what's wrong. Go, what a bunch of far-fitting, stupid ass people are these. I need to have my husband to give me any news. Stupid. Stupid, stupid. Finally, the doctor comes back, the main doctor. Well, ma'am, we read your CAT scan and you have all sorts of cuts on your brain. I said, cuts on my brain. Can you be more specific? Well, we call them lesions. They're little cuts on your brain. And I look at my husband and I said, no shit. Everybody's been telling me I'm scatterbrained for years. And now, look, I have proof. I'm just scatterbrained. I have cuts in my brain. Whatever. So, is that the bad news? I'm scattered-brained for real. And they said, no, ma'am, what that actually means is that you most likely have MS. I said, so it means I'm mainly stupid? Or does it mean I'm Mrs. Somebody? Or what does that mean exactly? I know I have friends with MS, but I don't know what that term means. They said multiple sclerosis. And I said, oh, yeah, okay. So, do you know how to get my right side, the feeling back in my right side? Well, ma'am, you may never have the feeling back in your right side. And I said, lovely. And you wanted to give me gabapentin, and I'm never going to get the feeling in my right side back. Said, y'all just don't know what you mean to begin with, and now you're looking at the right one and you want me to believe you. I go, okay, what do I do now? Well, we need you to go get scheduled for an MRI, and you go down this hall and you talk to these people. Well, they don't have an MRI active in that facility, so they have to schedule the MRI at the Air Force Academy. I said, really? I said, I guess I should have gone there to begin with. Said, Dave, we're Air Force. We should have gone there. We came here because it's closer to our house. And now they want us to go all the way up north, 50 miles away, for an MRI. And oh, by the way, ma'am, you're not going to be able to get in for another 2 weeks. We have their schedule. And I said, so you could have told me this 2 weeks ago, is how I feel. 3 hours later, we get it scheduled. And you know what I thought would be a 15-minute run into the ER, find out why I'm numb on the right side, turned into literally a 3.5-hour debacle of one doctor saying this, another doctor saying that, and that poor doctor that was in training, he was just a lieutenant. And he was actually a doctor, but he wasn't the doctor in charge. And he kept saying, "Be quiet now, I don't want to get in trouble." And I was like, "You don't want to get in trouble with who? Your ass is mine." And that's the way it is. So anyway, so we finally make it home. And here I have this new diagnosis that I may have MS. So I go up to my computer room and I look up MS on the computer. My husband had to leave to go to work. So I look it up, I get all the information. I was like, great, what's next? It had a whole list of stuff that could go wrong. Well, I thought, no, I'm too mean, I'm too stubborn. That isn't gonna happen to me. Well, I'm sitting here today in my automatic wheelchair telling you that yes, it can happen. And yes, we need to find a cure. Coming from a person that was full of piss and vinegar, out front jump roping with my son. I taught him how to jump rope, how to hopscotch, how to ride his bike. I'm the one doing this. And I stopped being able to walk eventually. And so we had to move and get into a house that was wheelchair accessible, which ended up being a wonderful, wonderful thing. I love my home, but it took a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of issues to get to this point. And now I'm asking you to please donate money to my cause, to Alexis Pixies, Colorado Springs MS Walk. We need your help. We need to find a cure. We don't need to let any more young mothers find out what's wrong and end up in a wheelchair where they can't pick up their children and can't teach them how to ski, how to snowboard, how to do anything that involves walking, talking. That's another thing. I talk too much and now I slur my words. And no, I'm not drunk. Lord have mercy, I wish I were. But it's a disease that's affected a lot of my motor skills. I no longer can write. I used to scrapbook. I no longer can walk. Though, you know what? I have hope and a lot of support to make that change to be different. And someday I will be riding again, and I will be walking again, and I will be talking where people can understand me, and hopefully you can understand this video. But again, please, please donate to the MS Society. My team is Alexis Pixies. I named it that because, of course, you know, I'm Alexa. My favorite thing in this world is a pixie, and I need wings, is how I feel. So, Alexis Pixies. You go to MS Walks, Colorado Springs, and you find my name and my team. And please, please donate. I need your help. I don't want anybody else to have this happen to them. So anyway, thank you for your time. And I'm just going to say thank you for your money that's going to go towards MS research, and it helps MS patients and all sorts of things. That's to help us. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.